All right, what is up everyone? Welcome to another video. This is actually gonna be a very boring video where I'm gonna be showing you guys how to actually get over or at least kind of suppress anxiety as an entrepreneur and as a business person. And the way that I do that is by creating lists. And so what we're gonna do in this video is actually go over exactly how I create lists in my life to really ease my anxiety and make me feel like a lot better of a person. Because one of the things that I've realized as an entrepreneur is that when my life is organized, I feel much better and I feel much less anxious and I feel much, more happy about my life than when my life is disorganized. And the way that I actually organize my life is by using lists. And so the actual technology that I personally use to organize my life is a little app called Clear on my iPhone, which is basically just a notes app. And then I use something called Trello. What Trello is basically a project management software. And once you have more than a few people actually on your team, it's something that's really critical to actually be able to track how much work each employee is doing. So we use Trello for project management. It basically says, hey, Patrick, here's a task that you need to do. You need to finish, video editing this. You need to make sure that you finish the video edit for one of the Facebook ads we did, and make sure that you're ready, that you're completing tasks day by day and that everyone's actually getting work done. So that's part A, that's Trello. Part B is something called Hubstaff. So Hubstaff, since my entire team, for all of my software, all of my YouTube stuff, all the Facebook ad stuff, all of my private courses and info products and email and ManyChat, and all of the different things that we do and all of the infrastructure and tech that we set up, right? We have, multiple people from all different countries all around the world working on different time zones and things like that. And so what Hubstaff does is it actually tracks those people. So what Hubstaff does is it'll literally take a screenshot at randomized times while people are working, just so that you can feel comfortable when you have 20 different customer service staff and virtual assistants working in all different time zones, just to make sure that everyone's working and that there's accountability, just in case there's ever any questions as far as that. So we use Clear on my iPhone, which is a note-taking app. We use Trello for project management, and we use Hubstaff, which is actually like a time tracking app for all of our different employees. And so how I actually communicate with my virtual assistants, and I recommend that anyone, anywhere, start to do this immediately, because you can literally get like an incredibly smart virtual assistant for like $3 an hour from the Philippines. And just because the price to actually live a good life is so different in different countries, for $3 an hour you can get a virtual assistant. And what I personally do is I send them voice messages, right? So I send them voice messages saying, hey JR, there's something wrong with one of the automation emails for the Amazon webinar. Can you take a look at that, right? And then he'll either do it himself or he'll pass that task off onto one of our other staff who actually knows how to do those things. So I'm going to do what I do, in my actual life, and I'm going to do this for real, so you guys can actually see, what it's like for somebody who runs, a $10 million business to actually set up and organize things. Because once you kind of get everything out of your head and trying to remember all of it, then it's so much easier to actually kind of get things going. And so I'm just going to literally write down all of the different things that we're doing. So the first thing is native ads. And what native ads are is basically those little ads you see at the bottom of blogs that say want to lose 10 pounds eating only cookies? Click here. So it's just another traffic source that we're looking into. There's also something called solo ads. So solo ads basically are you pay for clicks. And so when people have these massive multi-million person email lists and things like that, they'll literally send an email out to 100,000 people who are interested in making money online, for example, and they'll sell you 100 clicks for some predetermined amount of money. And then you're gonna rely on your funnel and your offering to actually either make money on the front end with those solo ad traffic or through the back end through your automation of adding those actually additional emails to your list. So we're gonna do solo ads too. There's one thing that we're working on with ActiveCampaign. So with ActiveCampaign, what we're doing is we wanna actually check losers. So I'm saying check losers because we have these huge email sequences, and some of them have 24% open rates, some of them have 31% open rates, some of them have 9% open rates. So we want to check through all of the different automations and make sure that all of the ones that have poor statistics relative to the rest of them are actually working correctly. So there's ActiveCampaign. We're going to go through webinar. Webinar percentages. Right, so what we're seeing is that 2 of our webinars are performing very well, but one of them we're having a low drop-off percentage. So what that means is that one of our webinars, people aren't staying long enough to actually see all of the best information and long enough to see the actual offer to join one of our courses. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna check on the webinar percentages, and then based on the analytics that we see about those webinars, we're going to remake one of the webinars to be more interactive, more enticing, more engaging, giving more info earlier on to actually keep people onto the actual webinar longer. The next thing that we're going to talk about is podcasts. So my podcast is just like this little force that just exists, and I put like no effort into at all, right? But it gets thousands and thousands of downloads every month, over 1,000 a day with legitimately zero marketing effort. And I really like podcasting. It's like a therapeutic, and it's like a way for me to kind of like dump out what I've learned and what I'm feeling in a way that's really impactful and helping people. So it's something that I really like to do anyways. So the podcast. The next thing is software, right? So a big push for me in 2019 is going to be software, because just the small pieces of software that we've actually put together just in the past like 3 or 4 months have already started to make a really significant amount of money. Like they're making between 60 and 100,000 per month, and so software is a big focus of mine. So there's a couple pieces that I'm involved with. Zon Keywords is one. And we'll do it in the second one, Page Oneify. And we're gonna keep the other ones hidden for now, but it's a suite for Shopify, which is gonna be really, really impactful for the market. It'll be out and ready to go pretty soon. The next one that we're gonna talk about is joint ventures. So we're gonna call this JVs. Basically what joint venture means is once you kind of amass like a certain critical mass of subscribers, and you can really offer value to other people, what you want to do is you want to actually do joint ventures with other people that also have followings in reasonably similar kind of niches, and so that you can benefit from their audience and that they can benefit from your audience. So reaching out to people that have big audiences, people that I've already collabed with, like ODI Productions, like Graham Stephan, Ryan Scribner, but then also reaching out to people that I haven't connected with personally yet. So like just today, I was in a group message with Evan Carmichael, and so he and I are probably gonna collaborate if he's interested in doing that at some point. And then YouTube, right? So YouTube is obviously the biggest one. It started everything for me, right? YouTube's like literally the most important social media platform that I have. And the last one is filming ads. Right, so filming new ads is like one of the most profitable things that you can actually kind of do as, in someone in my position that has these like fully automated kind of like beautiful machines in the form of funnels, automated funnels set up. Filming new ads that pique people's interest, things that are time relevant, like are you ready to take advantage of 2019? Things that kind of catch people, hook people, and always trying to create new creative and new ads is like a really good way, because ads are some of the most scalable ways to consistently add additional revenue to your business. And so filming new ads is something that's really important. So then the next stage of this that I like to do is organize things, right? So these are all different things that we're gonna do. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? And so then the last one, and the one that I haven't mentioned yet, is DCS, right? So DCS is the last course that I'm ever gonna make. DCS stands for Digital Course Secrets. So what DCS basically means is I've kind of taken everything that I've learned in the past 18 months, building a $10 million company. And I've kind of packaged it all into a beautiful kind of summary package that teaches people how to make a digital course, but not only how to make a digital course, how to do it the right way, right? Because so many people do it the wrong way, and there's very few people that are building from 0 to 10 million, right? 0 following, 0 anything to 10 million in 18 months. And so I'm gonna teach everything that I've learned from doing that into Digital Course Secrets. And so what I personally do at this stage is since there's 10 things here, I want to kind of organize from last to first what is the most important, right? So probably these three, solo ads, native ads, and active, I can definitely say are probably the least important. So I'm gonna go 10 here, 9, 8 is active, right? And then the next things that are least important are probably the webinar percentages. So we'll do 7, and then probably the podcast is 6. Filming ads is probably, well, actually JVs is probably 5. Filming ads, we're gonna put as 4. And then the top 3 things that I wanna focus on are YouTube, software, and digital course secrets, right? And so right now, the number 1 things that I wanna focus on are probably, I'm gonna put a 3 for software, 2 for YouTube, and 1 for digital course secrets, right? And so then at this stage, and I do this same activity like often. At this stage, now what I would do is I would get my staff, right? Like I would get my project manager, I would get my lead virtual assistants, I would get, my technical leads to do all of this, right? All of the things that are not in the first, second, or third place, I'm gonna outsource all of that, right? And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a picture of this, and this is literally how I do it in my own life, which is why the quality of this video is so low. But so what I'm gonna do with this is now I'm going to erase this board with the eraser that exists somewhere, right? And the only things that I'm gonna leave up here are the top 3. Right, and so obviously I'm not gonna just totally waste all of that effort, but the picture that I took with my phone, I'll send that image to my project managers, to the people that I work with. If you don't work with anybody, to your virtual assistant. If you don't have a virtual assistant, get one, right? But if you don't have one yet, then you can literally just store that picture, and you can write out the top 10 on like a Google Doc or in Trello or in anything, right? The point is use something, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reorganize, right? So 1, I'm gonna put DCS. 2, I'm gonna put YouTube. And 3, I'm gonna put software. Right, and so now that I have these 3 organized like this, then I'm gonna erase the rest of them because it's just the same thing. Right, and I'll leave this up somewhere in my life, in my house, right? This is just a wall in my house, so I'll leave this up here and I'll probably rewrite it larger. And then these are the only 3 things that I'm gonna focus my day-to-day life on, right? Everything else I'm gonna give to my staff, or I'm gonna push off to future Kevin, right? The only 3 things that I'm focusing on during my day right now is digital course secrets, YouTube, and software. And if anything comes to me, right, any distractions, people that want me to promote their software, people that wanna collaborate, people that want me to go to 10x GrowthCon, people that want me to do any number of things, right? There's constant distractions every single day, people trying to drag away your attention, right? Something goes wrong, or you have a school project, or you have this or that. There's always gonna be distractions as an entrepreneur. Anything that pulls my attention away from these 3 things, right? I have to have the accountability to myself as an entrepreneur to say no to those things, and I have to have the accountability as an entrepreneur and as a person to only focus on things that get me closer to digital course secrets, YouTube, and software, right? This is the way that I combat my anxiety, right? Because there's so many things going on in such a chaotic world. There's so many distractions. Like if I wanted to, I could literally just respond to Facebook messages all day, every day for 18 hours a day, very easily, right? I get thousands of messages a day. And so, I don't want to offset that completely and never respond to anyone. And so what I've done is I've created, an infrastructure of experts to be able to help me respond to the level and the volume of messages that I get. We have a master question and answer document because I get so many of the same exact question, right? And then twice a month, for my paid students, we do a Q&A session, right? Like a live training where literally people sign on and they ask me questions. Hey, Kevin, what do you think about this product for Amazon? Or, I had some inventory stuck in China in Chinese customs. What do I do? And we literally just go through and I answer every single one of their questions for an hour, for multiple hours, however long it takes, twice a month. And that is how I'm able to serve, hundreds of people all at the same time with my time. So it's not me saying, okay, I'm gonna ignore all these people. It's how can I make it more efficient to answer all of their questions all at once rather than answering one Facebook message at a time, right? So it's constantly just continuous improvement, trying to make, your day-to-day life more efficient. And the way that you do that is with virtual assistants and with automations and with systems, right? So sometimes taking a moment, having the relativity to step back and say, okay, how can I make this more efficient for myself from a time perspective? And then improve that, and then focus your time. Just re-energize, continually refocus on the top 3 things in your life, and then have everyone else outside, everyone else in if you have employees, if you don't, if you want to get some, or just pushing it off to a future date because it's not the most important thing. Humans have this ability to procrastinate the things that they know are the most important to do them last. But you're gonna have to completely turn that on its head, take the polar opposite, and only focus on the top 3 things that are most important. So that is what I do to clear my head, to make sure that I reprioritize and focus on the correct things, and getting everything literally written out in front of you on a whiteboard, if you have a whiteboard like this, or if you have a piece of paper, right? Or if you have a computer or a cell phone. Getting it all written out and then reorganizing it step by step by step. What's the number 1 most important? What's the number 2? What's the number 3 most important? If you get it all out like that, then cutting out everything that's not in the top 3 and giving it to your employees or giving it to, for a future date. Because once you have the top 3 priorities, then you're able to really focus on what's important. Not only that, but you can also focus on what's not important and cut all of that out of your life, all of the distraction out of your life, so you can focus on what's most important and what's gonna get you to your goals the fastest. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one, guys. If you did, make sure you tap that little like button, and also tap the subscribe button, turn on the notification bells, and leave a comment down below how you like to stay organized, or if you're going to use this particular strategy. I love to hear from you guys. I still answer every single comment by myself and with some people to help me, of course, because we're scaling up those systems so that I'm able to answer and accommodate more people kind of all at the same time while still having a life myself. So I love you guys all. Seriously, you mean the world to me. Leave a comment down below that lets me know if you like this method or if you have a better method. And if you have a better method and I read it and I like it, then I'm going to feature you on the next video. And until next time, happy hustling.